Hi, my name is Ying, and with us is Kenny from Reach Counselling Services. And in today's topic, we'll be covering about expectations of sex after marriage and infidelity.
My thoughts are that many couples find it difficult to talk about expectations in their sexual intimacy. So there could be unspoken or unexpressed expectations in that area of sex. So when they enter into marriage, some couples do face problems in that, and the root cause of the problem very much lies with expectations in sex. So couples, it would be encouraged for couples to actually talk about expectations in their sexual intimacy. And that's a very important topic to discuss, because sexual intimacy is what actually seals or glue the relationship together, and that's what there is a lot of meaning in having sexual intimacy in a relationship, in a committed relationship.
So what happens when a couple comes to you and one of their issue is, unfortunately, because due to the lack of sexual intimacy,
Yes,
one of the partners have actually cheated, infidelity has resulted.
we see many cases of infidelity, and one of the factors of infidelity is definitely there is this very minimal or lack of sexual intimacy in their marriage relationship, and therefore the spouse or one of the spouse may seek that need elsewhere, and unfortunately outside of marriage. And so that's very unfortunate, and so that's when infidelity happens.
So in such cases, how can it be resolved?
First of all, we need to understand that infidelity in a marriage is one of the highest form of betrayal, and therefore it gives a large extent of an emotional trauma to the injured spouse, and therefore it's a very complicated issue, and it takes time to resolve because trust is broken, and therefore trust needs to be rebuilt in the marriage. So it's quite intensive and long process to recover from infidelity. We have many couples who come to us with this problem, and through therapy they have managed to recover from infidelity. Not only recover, they also has established even a much better marriage for themselves.
So infidelity is something that you can, through working together, get over?
Yes, you can recover from it, provided the couple actually seek help, they address the root cause of the infidelity, work through the issues, and ultimately discover from themselves that actually the marriage that we once had there were weaknesses in it, and from there you can actually identify the weaknesses, work on it, and get a so-called new marriage or a better marriage for themselves. What a lot of couples don't understand about infidelity, it's really not so much about the physical cheating, or it's more about the emotional attachment to the third party. So it's very similar in a very committed or intimate relationship, where sex only comes after an emotional connection. So it's not just I go into an affair just to feed my needs, because if that can be done, perhaps that spouse may even choose to go to a prostitute to get his needs fixed. But usually an affair happens when there is some form of emotional connection first. The sex comes later. And this is very evident from all our cases. We have hardly come across a case where there is only sex involved. I'm not saying that there aren't any cases, but the minority falls under that category. and that would be a different class of affair where there may be an issue with sex addiction, and therefore this person goes to multiple partners to get his addiction fixed. But a typical infidelity case would actually involve a lot of emotional connection. Usually the sex is hardly discussed, but it's part of the infidelity.
And in the next episode, we'll be touching on the different types of services that you can receive through counselling and when you should be seeking help. Thank you so much for sticking with us, and we'll see you in the next episode.
Thank you, Ing, for having me here. My pleasure. Thank you.